All devices have their own unique benefits when language learning. However, the one that stands out to me as the best is the iPad. In this video, I'll highlight the pros and then show you how I use the device for everyday use. The form factor of the iPad is probably where it stands the strongest. Being able to pack a light device like this in my backpack and still have access to a large screen where it's easy to work on textbooks is one of the reasons I think this device absolutely kills it when it comes to convenience. Especially if you're like me and you like to language learn on the go. The drawbacks of an iPad are definitely there, and I know a lot of people that support Android are going to be absolutely right when it comes to the amount of versatility you could do on those tablets. But I do think the smooth functionality of the iPad makes up for it, especially if you're already in the Apple ecosystem. It's also slowly catching up to the amount of apps and resources that are available, but it still pales a little bit in comparison. Apple also finally caught up to a lot more practical ways to use their device. With the release of iOS 26.2, you could kind of use the iPad like a computer. You could finally open up multiple tabs and work in two different windows. This was one of the biggest hindrances for iPad learning previously, but this feature just makes it so helpful. Tablets also allow the ability to write, especially if you have the Apple Pencil. It just makes it so easy. This is probably the biggest thing that computers lack. You could just use a physical notebook, but if you're someone that prefers digital, a tablet is definitely the way. Lastly, these new iPads are just insanely powerful. Apple has managed to put like a computer processor into a tablet, so it's pretty much way overkill, and these things will last a long time, especially if you buy one of the ones with the M chips. So as of right now, I think it's a pretty good investment for the foreseeable future unless something crazy happens. So to show off how I use the device, for example, if I want to read, I use a downloaded EPUB and load it onto this one app called SuReader. I also downloaded a Safari extension called 1010 Reader. This allows you to hover over any part of a text to learn the meaning. Occasionally, I'll put up Anki next to it and make flashcards using the new words I just learned. I try to immerse in Japanese as much as possible, so in the morning or before I sleep at night, I'll load up onto my NordVPN and set location to Japan, log on to Japanese Netflix to get access to a whole bunch of Japanese content. The iPad is a really perfect size when it comes to watching content, and looks quite beautiful in the OLED screen. One of my major highlights for using this device is the ability to be able to scan textbooks and go through the scans on my tablet. Being able to go through the textbooks on the go is just a big game changer for me, especially using the Apple Pencil. Makes it really easy to note take side by side. If you're looking for a device to language learn, I highly recommend iPads, especially if you're someone like me who likes to language learn on the go with as little as possible and really likes a simple brain off way of doing things. It really elevated my language learning, and I study so much more than I did previously. But yeah, thanks for watching.